Fire kept your ancestors alive. It also burned them a lot. Picture it. Around 100,000 years ago, somewhere in Africa, a hand reaches too close to the flames. Skin blisters. A child cries out in the dark. And here's the thing. There's no hospital, no burn cream, no ice pack in a freezer. Just pain, a wound, and a very real chance that it kills you. Because burns don't just hurt, they get infected. And back then, an infection could be a death sentence. So this leaves us with a strange, uncomfortable question. If fire was everywhere in ancient life, and burns were basically guaranteed, how on earth did these people survive them? Did they just tough it out? Or did they figure something out? Let's go through it properly. First, let's kill a lazy assumption. The idea that ancient humans were helpless, that they just suffered and hoped for the best. Nope, not even close. Here's the truth. Treating a wound is technology. Knowing which plant calms a burn, that's technology. Knowing to cover it, to keep it clean, to cool it down, that's knowledge. And knowledge like that doesn't appear overnight. It builds up over thousands of years, one painful lesson at a time. Think about it. Our ancestors had been living with fire for a very, very long time. Hundreds of thousands of years of sitting near flames, cooking, keeping warm, keeping predators away. You don't spend that long around fire without learning, the hard way, how to deal with getting burned. So no, they weren't waiting in a cave for someone to invent medicine. They were already doing it. Let's start with the simplest tool of all, water. Cooling a burn is the oldest first aid move there is, and it's not complicated. You press cool water or a wet leaf onto the skin, and it eases the pain. Ancient humans lived beside rivers, lakes, and streams. The instinct to plunge a burned hand into cool water, that's not something you have to teach. Almost every animal seeks relief. A burned creature runs to water. Now, here's the honest part. We can't dig up a bucket of cold water from 100,000 years ago. Water leaves no trace, so we can't prove they cooled their burns. But given how obvious it is, and how universal the instinct is, it would be genuinely bizarre if they didn't. Next up, plants. This is where it gets fascinating. Ancient people were walking encyclopedias of the plants around them. They had to be. And some of those plants are, medically speaking, the real deal. Take honey. Honey is a natural antibacterial. It's been used on wounds for thousands of years, and modern science backs it up. It actually helps fight infection and keeps a wound moist while it heals. Ancient Egyptians wrote about using honey on burns, but the knowledge is way older than writing. Writing just finally recorded what people already knew. Then there's aloe, that cool, gooey plant you rub on a sunburn today. Humans have been reaching for plants like it for a very long time. And tree resins, sticky, sappy stuff that can seal a wound and keep the bad stuff out. But here's the caveat, and it matters. We can't always prove a specific ancient person used a specific plant on a specific burn. Plants rot, soft tissue rots. The evidence just disappears. So a lot of this is reasonable inference, not a signed confession. Keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the thing that ties it all together, other people. Here's what a lot of folks miss. Surviving a bad burn isn't a solo project. If your hand is wrecked, you can't hunt, you can't gather, you can't cook. For days, maybe weeks, you need someone else to feed you, protect you, and keep your wound clean. And we have evidence, real, physical evidence, that ancient humans did exactly that. Skeletons have been found of people who survived serious injuries and illnesses that would have been impossible to survive alone. Broken bones that healed, bodies that lived on despite conditions that should have killed them fast. That tells us something huge. These people took care of each other. They didn't abandon the injured. They carried them. Because here's the real secret to surviving a burn in the ancient world. It wasn't a magic plant. It was the group. It was community. Oh, and by the way, if you want to go even deeper into the wild, hidden survival tricks of ancient humans, I just put together a full course called The Secret Lives of Ancient Humans. 10 modules, over 3 hours, covering all the stuff we never get to on YouTube. What they feared, how they healed, what almost wiped them out, plus an exclusive PDF guide. Links in the description. Come check it out. Okay, back to the burns. Now, we've got to be fair and look at the other side, because it wasn't all clever survival. A lot of ancient people died from burns. Let's not pretend otherwise. An infected burn before antibiotics was terrifying. If bacteria got deep enough, there was no plant, no honey, no amount of care that could save you. Severe burns can also cause the body to lose fluids fast, and that alone can be fatal. So yes, they had tricks, but the tricks had limits, hard limits. And here's another thing worth sitting with. Not every treatment actually helped. Some ancient remedies were probably useless. Some might have even made things worse. Packing a wound with dirt or dung, for example, could invite exactly the infection you were trying to avoid. Trial and error is brutal when the error can kill you. So it's a mixed picture. Real knowledge, real care, and real limits, all at once. There's also a bias we have to be honest about. The stuff that survives for us to find is bone and stone. The stuff that doesn't survive, plants, poultices, bandages made of bark or hide, that's exactly the stuff they probably used to treat burns. So the record we dig up makes it look like they had less medicine than they really did. Absence of evidence gets mistaken for evidence of absence. And that's not the same thing at all. So let's come back to our big question. How did ancient humans treat burns from fire? The honest answer? Better than you'd think, but not as well as they'd have liked. They cooled the burn with water. They reached for plants that genuinely fight infection. They covered wounds to keep them clean. And most importantly, they leaned on each other. They let the group carry the injured until they healed. Was it perfect? No. Did plenty of people still die? Absolutely. But the idea that our ancestors just suffered helplessly in the dark? That's a myth. They were problem solvers, careful, clever, and deeply connected to each other. And maybe that's the real takeaway here. The most powerful burn treatment ancient humans ever had wasn't a plant. It wasn't water. It wasn't a clever bandage. It was the fact that someone stayed. Someone fed them. Someone kept the wound clean while they couldn't. Someone refused to leave them behind. Fire gave us warmth. It gave us cooked food. It gave us safety in the dark. And yeah, sometimes it burned us. But we didn't survive fire alone. We survived it together.